Wanted to do a video review for you guys today of this product I received in the mail. This is the Anker Powerconf S500. Now, full disclosure, I did receive this as a review copy. Probably asking yourself, why is a video game review channel taking a look at a conference type recording device? Well, I have personally started to struggle with getting good audio quality when I record videos for you guys. What you can't see off camera right over here is my rig set up with a boom arm and a Blue Yeti and a pop filter and connections running to that. Sometimes if I do an unboxing video, you'll notice that I have a lavalier microphone. I tuck that under my shirt, I run it all the way down and around. It becomes somewhat of a pain if you are trying to stream a game from a console and you don't use a headset. A lot of people use traditional headsets that have the over-the-ear cups and then a boom arm on either side that comes down as a microphone. Let's face it, that microphone sounds terrible, and you can instantly tell whether or not somebody is using one of those microphones versus a more professional setup like I have here, based solely on the audio quality. So when Anker said, hey, do you want to review this? I said, I sure do. The reason being, I want to put to the test how this compares to headsets. And in somebody like my situation where you're streaming from a couch or from sitting far away from a television and you don't have a headset, can you still obtain nice quality sound? That's what we're going to be looking at today. So without further ado, let's rip this box open together, see the contents that are inside, and then we'll go ahead and do a jump cut after I give you guys my final verdict. So as I said, Anker sent this to me as a review copy. I was interested, God, that's so much noise, isn't it? I was interested because I have a lot of Anker stuff, actually. I have a lot of USB stuff that they make. I was surprised to see that they were starting to get into some of the other, networking and into audio and web camera stuff. So I was like, sure, send it over. I also liked it because it had Bluetooth capabilities. I do use a lot of phone calls at work anyway, but I'm really more interested in it from a gaming perspective. That's really where my heart is. That's where this channel has been, it's all geared towards gaming. So it was like a match made in heaven that I finally got fiber connection. I want to start streaming more, and I don't like the current setup that I have. So inside the box, you're going to get a little pamphlet here that gives you information on how to download an application for your cell phone, because you can control a lot of stuff through the cell phone. Inside, you get a nice little carrying case here, and inside the carrying case is the actual product, I'm going to guess. Lucky guess. And here you guys have it here. It is a speaker on top here, and then on the back there is a USB type A connection. This is your dongle that you will plug into in order to connect your device to your computer or to any other, wherever you're recording with. In my case, I'm going to be trying it out on a console. We'll see how that works out. I also actually want to try it on my computer and compare it against my other stuff as well. You got some face buttons on the front here. Looks like you have a power button, a linking button, a Bluetooth button, and a play button there. You can see all of that. This also does act as a speaker if you want to broadcast music as well. I mean, it is geared more towards a conference setting, but if you wanted to take it as a portable speaker, you could. Inside, you'll notice that there is a USB Type-C cable, and this device could always be plugged in, right? I mean, there's nothing that would never work plugged in specifically. However, this device is actually battery operated. It gets up to supposedly 16 hours of recording time, which is plenty enough for a stream. I mean, typically, if I'm going to stream, it's maybe 2-3 hours at most. If you are on a 16+ hour conference call, I feel so bad for you. I am so sorry. That is incredibly sad news to hear. And they also come with this interesting little adapter cable I want to open up for you guys. This is their adapter cable that is going to allow you to convert from the USB-A to the USB-C on the back, which is interesting. I haven't seen a cable this small that does this function, but that's what it does. So that's everything that's inside the box, outside of some user manual and some other information. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to do a series of reviews, and I'll come back to you in a couple days. I'll have some audio recording. You've obviously heard my voice now. using my normal setup, I think it sounds pretty darn good. We're gonna put this to the test and see just how crystal clear I can get this in a variety of different environments. So stay tuned for that. And without further ado, jump cut magic. So I have switched over from my Blue Yeti microphone to my Anker microphone. And as you can see, as I am talking, it's actually got a blue light which begins to emanate, which lets you know that I am in fact transmitting data. I'm keeping it at a distance about the same distance from my other microphone. This is about where I would be talking if I was streaming content or if I was on some sort of call with others. I also did play around, and it's impossible to record decently. I did test it with, since it is an audio device, I did hook it up to my computer via the USB dongle, and I was able to listen to music to it. It's got a pretty decent range for Bluetooth. It'll work about 20 feet in that direction before it starts to cut out, which is pretty impressive, on par with other Bluetooth-enabled devices. What comes to mind most is my iPhone AirPods, where I'll leave my phone somewhere and I'll wander and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot my phone's down in my pocket. My sound starts to get a little clippy. So I wanted to record a nice long sample of me with this device. You could hear it as a microphone, and we'll talk a little bit about it in a minute, but this is just the first of many tests. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is plugged in now. Before, when I was doing the recording, I had it on a Bluetooth mode, which was wireless. I've now plugged it in after doing the software update with the latest and greatest, I should say firmware technically. But it is plugged into my computer via the USB-C to USB-A dongle. It's still sitting about the same distance that it was before. So I wanted you guys to hear it plugged in versus wireless to see if there was any difference in audio quality. Okay, I thought I would fire up Elden Ring, and as you can see by the screenshots that I am now showing to you on the screen, this does actually support the PlayStation 5, which is amazing. So the PlayStation 5 does have a USB Type A and a USB Type C port in the front. So I am using the wireless variant. I have the dongle plugged into the front of my PlayStation 5, which is about maybe 10 feet in front of me. And I have the Anker wirelessly connected via Bluetooth, sitting on the table next to me, about a foot away from me. And I fired up Elden Ring, and I wanted to do a quick Twitch stream to show off the audio so you can hear what it sounds like through the PlayStation interface. Now, the nice thing about the way that this Anker setup works is that it does in fact also support a speaker. So if for whatever reason you elected to use a speaker and this to be your speaker, you can. So I don't really know any application in which you would portably require some sort of sound, but the PlayStation does in fact recognize it as both an audio output device as a speaker and as an audio input device as a microphone, which is what I'm using here. When you are using this, obviously it deactivates the DualSense controller microphone and instead it uses this. As with before, when I was recording on the computer, the exact same interface. You have the blue light across the front of the screen as I'm talking. I can raise and lower the volume on the front face buttons here, depending on how loud or quiet I want the sound, although I have that disabled at the moment, so you only hear my voice. But if you wanted to use this as a sound device, you can raise or lower the volume manually. You could also use the app as well on your cell phone. But I wanted to show that this does actually connect and work to a PlayStation 5. So there you have it, yet another application, and you be the judge between how this sounds compared to streaming on your PlayStation 5 with a headset vice a wireless Bluetooth solution. All right, I am back on my Yeti, back on my computer, and you've got to listen to some of the Anker in action on both my PC wired and wireless, as well as on my PlayStation 5. Unfortunately, as expected, the Xbox does not support this. Microsoft is very specific about the UAC standards that they use when it comes to USB powered devices that are allowed to transmit and receive audio. And unfortunately, Anker was not on that list. I don't fault Anker at all. Microsoft's policy on this has always been a little backwards. And I think that you kind of give them a pass and just accept if you want to use a headset on your Xbox Series X, you're going to need to play by Microsoft's rules and buy an officially endorsed product. But so Microsoft unfortunately didn't get tested. You have now heard the audio. You've heard me use this in a variety of situations. The only other application that I did not present to you, as I mentioned, was actually the game audio portion. You obviously could use this as intended as a telephone bridge device, which I have called my wife a few times in the last few hours testing it out. She has noticed no difference, and it sounds great to me. Is this the product for you? That is only a question you could answer. From my perspective, from somebody who prefers the highest quality anything, for me, I prefer a wired solution. It is more work to set up. If you've seen any of my other videos where I'm running 25, 30 feet long of USB Type-C cable and optical cable all around the corners of my room in order to get crystal clear sound and crystal clear audio from the stuff I like to produce and from the stuff that I like to listen to, well, you have your answer. But I understand that some people are willing to sacrifice quality for convenience. And I have to say, in terms of convenience, this thing is awesome. You plug it in, you could wire it to your phone, or you could Bluetooth it to your phone, you could have it wired to a device, you could have it using the USB wireless dongle, which conveniently snaps into the bag. You could have it for that, which gives you this whole wireless range, really changes the way that this application is used. It ultimately depends up to you. I can't answer that. I mean, I'm not going to lie and tell you that this sounded better than a professional microphone set up and tuned and wired with a pop filter. Of course, that's just not going to happen. And I wouldn't honestly expect a kind of plug and play portable device to match that quality. But where this portable device really shines is taking this anywhere you want to go, doing a podcast with your friends and setting it up in the center of the room and everybody getting around and talking. Or in my case, streaming upstairs, being far away from a device or a TV or your console without running, ugly USB cables all over the place. There is something to be said about the portability. And I mean, it's on the box, portable conference speaker. So I think it works in that regard. It's definitely, you can hear what's going on. It's got the capability of audio, transmit and receive. So it's kind of your call. But I wanted to leave the video here and kind of leave it up to you to decide. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. Do yourself a favor next time you're watching your favorite console streamer. I'm not talking PC. Most people with PC probably using a setup very similar to the one that I use. But do yourself a favor and listen to the audio quality of people when they're using all-in-one headsets and ask yourself, does it really sound better than this? And I think the answer is going to be no. I think this has it beat. So there you guys have it, my final thoughts on the Anker. And I want to say again, I did receive this as a review copy. So please take everything I said with a grain of salt. I try to be as unbiased as I can in these reviews. I wanted to hear you. You wanted to hear it yourself. I recorded this with the absolute highest quality I could, and I uploaded it here on YouTube for you guys to listen to and make your own decisions. But that's my thoughts on the Powerconf S500. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.